All right, ladies and gentlemen. Following the Paris and Brussels attacks, the role of blood relations between terrorists has been a point to point discussion. And Russia has decided it is almost unilaterally positive to target the family members of the most effective way to capture, correct, or punish said terrorists and or militants operating within their boundaries and authorities. And this is basically what Russia's been doing silently for decades, but now they're able to actually put it out there and say this is how counterterrorism strategies work most effective. You take down the whole root of the situation and you close it down as a whole. And you crush whatever possibility there is for that family to raise or be involved in raising another terrorist that might be looming for the next year or two, the next decade. And this is what Russia is doing. Russia targets the families of the terrorists in order to capture and or kill or subdue the situation when they find or list somebody that is not being nice in the background. Now, this is actually a big deal. Terrorist families now. This is the title. And basically saying, following the Paris and Brussels attack, role of blood relations between terrorists and been a point-to-point discussion. And I don't, really believe that this is not a correct way to do it. In fact, I would go so far as to have individual families who are on the suspected lists go into a precinct and have monthly checkups and pinpoint the behavior and everything else. That way, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it sooner. That way, they don't walk out. You send these guys in to go get them. They go in and they go get them. But this is the way Russia operates. This is what makes them more effective than the United States and Barry, because Barry sends 550 of them over to Syria to train other frickin' terrorists. Oh, sure, they got police training or they got some paramilitary training, and no doubt they all have ITAR and everything else so they can run unnoticed. Notice we're not arresting those guys. Notice nobody has talked about the Syrian rebel program and how it's operating since ISIS has become so big. There hasn't been one mention. I wonder why, because we basically started the recruits who went out and spread the propaganda, who went out and bought the vehicles, who went out and did all the things necessary to bring ISIS up to what it is today. And how does Russia handle this? Well, if in your backyard they have authority, they're going to target the families of every single group of people they think is messing up in their backyard. And in an effort to fight terrorism, especially in the Caucasus area, Russia's security officials would allegedly capture, torture, murder close family members or even distant relatives of suspected militants. Now, I'm in the United States. I'm not doing anything wrong. But since shit has hit the fan in my area, 2 of my pets have unilaterally died. So I only imagine the United States has similar measures against people who are on their shit lists as well. So, and I've also had, well, I've given you those situations before. I'm not going to go into it. But this is the situation. And I will show you a quick link to times in which they've done this. And these are all people whom of which they've gone after and killed various people and the events thereof. It seems an interesting pattern here. It appears that when terrorists are related to each other, they're better at bloodshed. The Russian counterinsurgency operation or agency Approach comes to no surprise then when the issue is viewed from this perspective. So you want to fight it, you fight it at the family level. You fight it at the blood level, just like anything else. So I wanted to bring this to you to say this is how you fight terror.